Okay, so we are beginning with another simple chapter which goes by the name chemical bonding. So this is a 10 minutes chapter and it is actually a 10 minutes chapter because once you understand the concept or the main idea of the chapter, then it is just you just go through the important terms, definition, diagrams, that's it. एक बार chapter हो गया पढ़ के तो before the exam you can do it in 10 minutes. So the chapter, essentially in this chapter there is nothing much, but I will just speak from the textbook what is there. So firstly, before I begin with what is there in the textbook, one thing which is not there in the textbook, I will elaborate on it. So why bonding? Why do atoms bond together? NaCl क्यों बनता है? What is the need for atoms to combine together and to form a compound? So the first need and the most important one is stability. Atoms always want stability. Everyone wants stability in life. And that is what atoms also want, right? So suppose I have a sodium here. Okay, so this is the first shell, this is the second shell, this is the third shell. So I hope you know configuration of sodium is 2 8 1. So this one electron is valence electron. Here I'm showing it here. Okay, so this electron is alone here. Now when does an atom get stability? Is when either the diplet rule is satisfied or either the octet rule is satisfied, which you may have come across in the lower standards. So what is diplet rule? Diplet rule means two electrons in the valence shell. This is applicable only for helium. Diplet rule applicable for only helium. Okay, and octet is for everyone else. So in helium, I'll draw helium also. This is the nucleus. Okay, this is the first shell. And first shell में there are two electrons and it is satisfied. So it's a noble gas. But when we say neon is nucleus, first shell and your second shell. So first shell में there are two electrons and second में there are eight. 2, 4, 6, 8. So this completes the octet rule and it is also satisfied. So an atom wants wants to form bonds because it wants the electronic configuration of the nearest noble gas. So we are talking about sodium. Now sodium इधर है, न्यूक्लियस है ये, इधर फर्स्ट शेल है, दो इलेक्ट्रॉन है, सेकेंड शेल है, 8 है, 2 4 6 8, ओके, और इधर और एक है. And suppose I have a chlorine here. Okay, I have a chlorine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, 2, 4, 6, 8. Sorry. 2. So this is only 7 here. Sorry, my. So we'll draw here. समझो अभी. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay. So मैं नीचे लिखता हूँ configuration so that there is no confusion. So this is 2 8 1 and this is 2, 8, and 7. Now we have spoken in periodic table कि इसके लिए टेल मी सपोज दिस wants अभी स्टेबिलिटी के लिए क्या चाहिए ऑक्टेट रूल चाहिए ऑक्टेट रूल can either done by gaining 7 electrons 1 plus 7 8 or by losing 1 electron. Now tell me which will require less energy, by gaining 7 or by losing 1. Obviously losing 1 na. It is easy to lose 1 electron than to gain 7 of them. So ये जो सोडियम का एक इलेक्ट्रॉन है इधर, this one, see, this one, this electron, this, it will be lost, it will lose it. अभी अगर ये चला गया तो इसका आप कॉन्फ़िगरेशन, दिस इलेक्ट्रॉन, सी दिस वन, दिस सी, ये जो यहाँ का इलेक्ट्रॉन है 281 वाला, इफ दिस गोज अवे, व्हाट इज लेफ्ट 2,8 नियॉन हो गया स्टेबिलिटी. दैट इज व्हाट इट वांट्स, राइट? सो इट विल लूज दैट इलेक्ट्रॉन and who will gain it, the chlorine. Sorry, this chlorine will gain it. Actually it can go anywhere अभी के लिए सिर्फ ताकि these are all in pairs ना, so this shouldn't feel bad, so this also I'm putting it in. So भी इधर इसका एक लूज हुआ, इधर आके गेन हुआ, ये इधर +1 हो जाएगा तो ये कितना होगा 2 8 8 हो जाएगा. आर्गॉन बना स्टेबिलिटी. आर्गॉन बनता नहीं है बट नियरेस्ट नोबल गैस कॉन्फ़िगरेशन स्टेबिलिटी. So this forms a sodium ion and this forms a chloride ion. Why ion? Why plus charge? Losing electron. Negativity जब जाती है you become positive. Electrons are negative, right? जब negativity हमारे मन से जाती है so we become positive. Similarly, chlorine negativity ले लेती है, so it becomes negative. Electrons are negative, so it becomes negative and it becomes positive. So this is now called as an ion. This is no longer an atom. This entire thing is called a compound, but this is now called an ion. Okay, so अभी या सो 2 8 8 हो गया, ये स्टेबल बन गया, ये भी स्टेबल बन गया, दोनों का काम हो गया, तो दे फॉर्म अ बॉन्ड. So that is the entire motive of chemistry. Entire goal of chemical bonding is to form stability between the compounds. Okay, so now there are two types. This was the main idea of what is the goal of the chapter or goal of chemistry in general. So that there are two types of bondings. Of course, I actually did one, but I will just go through now. Electrovalent, electrovalent bond, also called as ionic bond. So, what is electrovalent bond? I just showed. Electrovalent bond. Electro is electron, valent is valence shell. Valence shell में से electron goes from where? From metal to non-metal. Then it's called as electrovalent bond. I just showed you one example. We'll do another example of calcium. So this is the nucleus. Okay, this is the nucleus. Calcium is electronic configuration. You should know. I'll of course tell, but first 20 elements तो आने ही चाहिए. 2882. No, 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4 5. Oh shit. Sorry. This is not neat, I know, but anyways, you don't have these drawings now. You have dot structures where you just have to draw as in dots, dots, dots. So It's fine. I'll do that also. Okay, so this is calcium 2882. Calcium atom, not ion, atom. And this is oxygen. So this is a nucleus. This is 2. And then this is 6 here. 2 comma 6 is oxygen. 2 comma 6. नाउ सी इसको स्टेबिलिटी लाने के लिए आइदर +6 और -2. +6 is difficult, -2 is easy. So it will lose 2 electrons. This will अभी इसको स्टेबिलिटी के लिए lose 6 electrons और gain 2 electrons. Losing 6 is difficult. So ये gain 2 electrons. Electrons. सो ये जो दो है ना यहाँ के, ये दोनों इधर चले जाएंगे. एंड देन इट विल फॉर्म CA ऐसा कुछ. अब नाउ उधर है 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है पैरेनॉइड. You don't have it anyways. You have dot structure, which is really much easy. Very, this was time consuming. I didn't like this series. Okay, so this becomes 288 and oxygen. Wait, बहुत बड़ा oxygen. This is O बीच में O. This was nucleus. So 1 2 uh 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So both became stable. इधर 2 plus sign लगा दिया. Oh sorry. इसको 2 plus, इसको 2 minus, and then this is called CaO. Compound is formed. So electrovalent is easy. Electrovalent, if they ask definition, and we will write give compound formed by loss of electron from the metal to a non-metal. That's it. Textbook में भी यही definition दी होगी. Just go through that. Transfer of one or more electrons from atom of metallic element to non-metallic element. Same. So the main, okay, electrovalent is done. इसमें कुछ difficult ऐसा था ही नहीं. So okay. Now we will do covalent compounds. Covalent is nice. इसमें थोड़ा tricky है. Covalent compounds में क्या है? So what is covalent bonding? First we will check bonding. Covalent bonding में sharing of electrons होता है. Electrons do never go. Electrons do not go. Electrons are only shared. They are just shared with each other. So for example, अभी ऑक्सीजन मैंने बताया था. ऑक्सीजन कैसा है? ऑक्सीजन 1 2 बीच में न्यूक्लियस है. इट्स नॉट एन O, इज द न्यूक्लियस. 1 2 इधर 2 है. 1 2 3 4 5 6. ओके, draw them. 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is an oxygen atom. Oxygen atom. So if this combines with another oxygen atom, okay, अभी both the atoms want 8 electrons in the outermost shell. दोनों को स्टेबिलिटी के लिए कितने चाहिए? 8 चाहिए. अभी if it loses 2 electron, it doesn't make any sense, क्योंकि इसको तो 8 मिल जाएंगे. This is also O atom. इसको 8 मिल जाएंगे, बट इसका क्या होगा? इसको 4 ही बचे. So losing is not a good idea. So what they do is they share these electrons. They share it and form check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. इसका ड्राइंग थोड़ा ये जगह जाता है बट अगेन as I said you don't have this, you have only dot and cross structures. But अभी this becomes an O2 molecule. Wow. Now see, this has we now look at this at ये वाला ऑक्सीजन पहला वाला फर्स्ट वन. इसके बाद इधर एक है, दो है, तीन, चार, पाँच, छः, सात, आठ शेयर हो रहे हैं ना इधर इधर ये चारों इस इट इज एक्सेसिबल है इसके लिए. नाउ चेक दिस वन ये इधर का एक है, दो है, तीन है, चार है एंड अगेन चारों है. आठ आठ दोनों का फायदा हुआ. बोथ गॉट satisfied. Both got the 8 electrons which they wanted, octet rule. So this is basically covalent bonding. If water is also a covalent compound. With water ka I'll do it again. But okay, so now in covalent there are two parts, polar and non-polar. Both are covalent compounds only. But there are two parts in this. Little straight we'll draw. Yes. So what do you mean by polar? I will write and then explain. Polar charge separation. No charge separation. Non-polar. Sorry, non-polar, no charge. Polar, the atom is symmetrical. Non-polar, sorry. In non-polar, it is atom is a molecule is symmetrical and electrically neutral. Symmetrical and it is also electrically neutral. In this, the electrons unequally shared. Symmetrical and electrons equally shared. Difference textbook से करो, but main thing is the concept. What do you mean by polar and non-polar? So, what I mean by polar is कि take for example, अभी example भी बता देता हूँ अभी. So in polar example is water, HCl, ammonia. ये याद होने चाहिए आते हैं. इसमें एग्जाम्पल इज कार्बन टेट्राक्लोराइड, O2, N2, Cl. Cl2. Right. So yeah. So water molecule I'm drawing. I'm drawing the dot and cross structure, है ना? Okay, so how is water? Water is H2O. So दो hydrogen around one oxygen. So we have H2. Sorry, second. फर्स्ट ऑक्सीजन नॉट द करेक्ट नोट. ओके, ऑक्सीजन के पास कितने हैं? 6 वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन है. इन डॉट एंड क्रॉस आई एम राइटिंग हियर इंपॉर्टेंट. डॉट एंड क्रॉस ओनली वैलेंस शेल. ओनली वैलेंस शेल दिखानी है. ओके, सो ऑक्सीजन का ऑक्सीजन सॉरी हाँ ऑक्सीजन है ये. वी हैव 1, 2, 3, 4 and अरे 1 second. Not getting the cross right. Yes, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 हो गए ऑक्सीजन के. नाउ what वो H2 है ना, तो we have one cross of hydrogen, one more cross of hydrogen, this becomes H2. So अभी polar क्यों है ना ये, first point was charge separation takes place. So ये जो हाइड्रोजन का एक इलेक्ट्रॉन है ना, this is pulled towards oxygen, थोड़ा सा पुल हो जाता है ऑक्सीजन की तरफ. And that is why oxygen develops a slightly negative charge, hydrogen develops a slightly positive charge. Charge होता नहीं है. It tends to have this charge. थोड़ा charge separation takes place, and so this is also sharing only. Are they covalent? Yes, they are covalent. It is not that they are electrovalent. कि charge electron doesn't go. Only the charge separation occurs. Okay, so this is polar. This was polar covalent. I don't go much in the depth of concept. Difference याद रखो, examples याद रखो, and if you want, then you can remember this example कि हो जाता है. Ahead in electrolysis, so this will be explained again in depth. So why what happens actually, but you can just remember कि जो भी negative electronegative element है, it attracts the electron of the other electropositive element. So hydrogen is electropositive, so इसका electron oxygen खींच लेता है, and that is why hydrogen becomes a slightly positive. Why it becomes positive? क्योंकि it loses electron, negativity चली जाती है, so it becomes slightly positive, doesn't become positively charged, just slightly positive. Okay, so structures, I'll do it in the end together. So there's one more type of covalency which is called coordinate covalent bond. Very small. टेक्स्ट बुक में तो एकदम नीचे दिया है. Some people say अरे नीचे है क्या, कौन पूछेगा, ये आता है. This comes in the exam. Either name the following, either define or give example. So coordinate definition is important. Do from the textbook I'll speak. Type of covalency in which the combining atom contributes the both shared pair of electrons. For this example, I will take off ammonium radical. So, how is ammonia formed? Ammonium formed, we will see now. So first, अमोनियम बनने के लिए अमोनिया लगेगा, बराबर. अमोनिया क्या है, NH3. सर रफ वर्क करो, साइड में चले, बट डोंट मेक एरर्स. चलो, some people make N3H निकाल. इवन आई गेट कंफ्यूज समटाइम, इसलिए लिखने का ऐसे NH3 है, ठीक है, मतलब N बीच में होगा, हाइड्रोजन साइड में होगा. राइट इट डाउन. ओके, सो वी हैव NH3. N के कितने, 5 वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन्स है, तो 5 बनाते हैं, एक ऊपर एक नीचे, 3 बच्चे हैं. ओके वेट, 2 इधर, और इधर एक हाइड्रोजन का क्रॉस आएगा, हाइड्रोजन 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 एंड हाइड्रोजन. दिस इज NH3. So when this gains one H plus ion, so this H plus ion may either come from water or acid. When this gains this H plus ion, it forms a really wonderful compound. Okay, this is called as hydronium. और इधर ये important है. If you don't show this plus sign, if you don't show this brackets, marks gone. You will have to show कि ये दोनों सेम है. You cannot show a cross here. That is the entire idea of coordinate covalency. कि both shared electrons are contributed by this nitrogen. This hydrogen is not giving anything. So you cannot show the cross here. इधर 2 dots ही होने चाहिए. And it forms NH4. Similarly, we also have hydronium. Hydronium के लिए what you will need? Hydronium is what? H H3O plus. सो ये बनने के लिए क्या लगेगा, पानी लगेगा, H2O, राइट, H2O। H2O मीन्स रफली HO ईयर, H ईयर, H ईयर। ओके सर, रफ वर्क करो, अब रबिंग इट लुकिंग एट आइडियाज। सो H2O पहले बनाते हैं, वी मेड इट वंस, वी मेक इट अगेन, डजंट मैटर। सो इधर लोन पेयर है ऊपर, इधर H, इधर H है, राइट, O है इधर, ये दो लोन पेयर्स है इधर, वी हैव वन H here, we have another H here. This is water. And these two are called as lone pair electrons. Lone pair electrons came in 2026 boards. Lone pair electrons are electrons which do not take part in any of the atom of the compound. These are not combined with any of the atom. So these both are called as lone pair electrons. Now this when it combines with again H plus either from acid can write here if you want, don't write it, it's okay, either from acid, so this will form H, थोड़ा क्लोज होना चाहिए, this will form H3O प्लस। अगेन ये दोनों क्रॉस ही होने चाहिए, ये दोनों यहाँ पर क्रॉस ही होने चाहिए, you cannot show it one cross one dot because that is the entire idea of coordinate covalency, कि ओनली ऑक्सीजन इज गिविंग दिस, इट इज नॉट कि वो अपना एक दे रहा है हाइड्रोजन, नहीं, ऑक्सीजन ही दे रहा है। ओके फाइन, सो आई थिंक दिस वाज कोऑर्डिनेट कोवैलेंसी। नाउ वी विल ड्रॉ ऑल स्ट्रक्चर्स वन बाय वन फर्स्ट, के स्ट्रक्चर्स आर इम्पोर्टेंट, 100% आएगा इसमें। सो आई राइट हियर डॉट एंड क्रॉस स्ट्रक्चर्स। Number one, we do NaCl. Okay, so we do some few electrovalent, few covalent, coordinate we just did, so I'm not doing again. NaCl. So we have sodium, एक ही electron, only valence shell, only valence electrons to be shown. पूरा नहीं दिखाने का. This is the cross plus chlorine. These are 7. ये arrow दिखाना compulsory है. This will form Na प्लस, अब ये प्लस या ये क्रॉस था, इधर ये प्लस है, डोंट बिकम कंफ्यूज्ड, Na प्लस, and in the textbook na they have given a plus sign here also, but it is wrong, मत करो plus sign, teachers don't like it, don't draw the plus sign because it is a compound na, compound में we cannot show plus sign, they are together. So we have Na plus and Cl, वे Cl देखो, ये 7 इसके हैं, ये एक इसका आया है, तो विल ड्रॉ क्रॉस हियर, if you don't draw also it is fine actually, but this is really logical thing, if you draw cross here it will be really nice because वो इससे आया है ना, सोडियम से आया है, this becomes minus, so it is good to write this, electron of sodium dot is electron of chlorine, then atomic number of sodium is 11. Atomic number of chlorine is 70. 281, 287. पूरा 84 लिखोगे तो ही you will get full 2 marks, वरना they will cut somewhere. बोर्ड्स में they will give, but स्कूल में sometimes they cut. Okay, so now all are similar actually now. We'll take one more. CaO ऊपर मैंने किया, but we will take MgCl2, Mg cross cross Cl 7 इलेक्ट्रॉन और एक Cl। इसके पास दो है ना, सो दैट्स वाई। और Cl तो एक ही ले सकता है, पर है Mg के पास दो, तो वो दो Cl को बुलाएगा और दोनों को देगा एक एक। So this goes here, this goes here, arrow compulsory plus sign compulsory, ये दिखाना compulsory है, plus sign and arrows. This will form Mg2 plus, this will form, this will form 2Cl minus 2 because there are two atoms. Don't show plus sign over here. Textbook में है, but it is wrong as per me. Okay, so this was electrovalent compounds. बाकी oxygen, nitrogen and all, तो you know अभी, but still okay. We'll take one nitrogen. और nitrogen के पास पांच, 3 4 5, और एक नाइट्रोजन आया, 1 2 3 4 5। चेक कोवेलेंट कंपाउंड में शो दिस डॉटेड है ऐसा इधर, थोड़ा नीटली दिखाओ। राइट नाउ इट्स, so it will form 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3. This is N2 molecule. So that's why it's a triple. This remember. ये not related right now, but remember, note. Chlorine has a single covalent bond. Oxygen has double covalent bond. Nitrogen has a triple covalent bond. Ammonia has a three single covalent bond. Three single covalent bonds. It is not triple. They confuse you. They give option to get triple covalent and three single covalent. So it is three single covalent. It is not triple covalent bonds. So now we will quickly. बाकी water, ammonia, methane will do. Okay, we'll do methane. मीथेन में क्या है, CH4, सो कार्बन एंड हाइड्रोजन। ओके, हाइड्रोजन है, सो combines to form methane. This is methane, CH4। हर एक के बाद वो लिखना, dot is electron of this, cross is electron of this, that all. So this was essentially the dot and cross structure. The big difference है electrovalent covalent का, that you know, but I will just go through fast. Electrovalent covalent, electrovalent covalent. So electrovalent, high boiling points, low boiling points. Why? Not writing, I'm speaking. Because electrovalent have strong electrostatic. Electrostatic is important. And they have weak van der Waals forces. So that's why electrovalent के bonds तोड़ना is difficult, covalent के bonds तोड़ना is easy. So उनका melting point, boiling point and melting point actually, and melting point also. So that's why they have a high boiling and melting point electrovalent, low boiling and melting point covalent. So another point is good conductors of heat and electricity, bad conductors of heat and electricity. And there is nothing difficult as such here. One thing, okay, I'm difference now. You check it from the textbook. It is really simple. कि high melting point, low melting point. They are strong crystalline. They are weak gases. Can go electrolysis. Cannot be electrolyzed. But polar are electrolyzed. यही एक कैच था, उतना ही इम्पोर्टेंट है, बाकी सब कैन गो थ्रू. पोलर कैन बी इलेक्ट्रोलाइज्ड एंड पोलर ऑल्सो soluble soluble in water, but non-polar are not soluble in water. And one more thing that they ask it, ये भी 100% आएगा, dissociation and ionization. This is the last concept of the chapter. Dissociation is the separation of ions already present. Ionization is the formation of new ions. So whenever you get the dissociation, means separation of ions which are present, dissociation. Formation of new ions, ionization. So electrovalent undergo dissociation, covalent undergo ionization. So they form new ions. उनके पास ions होते नहीं है. क्यों नहीं होते? Because there is no transfer of electrons and ions are formed only after transfer of electrons. But in dissociation, अभी NaCl has ions. So सिर्फ separation of ions होता है. But the water or HCl does not have iron, so it undergoes ionization, because of which it forms new ions. It does not separate. Separate के लिए होने चाहिए पहले से. So this was essentially the chapter. Very simple chapter actually. Just remember electrovalency, covalency definition, dot structure important. वही आता है mainly. Polar, non-polar difference do from the textbook. Coordinate covalency definition. एंड ये डिफरेंस इलेक्ट्रोवैलेंट एंड कोवैलेंट कंपाउंड्स का, उसमें भी डिफरेंस में भी मेन थिंग इज पोलर आर इलेक्ट्रोलाइज्ड, नॉन पोलर कैन नॉट बी इलेक्ट्रोलाइज्ड. Yeah, so this was the chapter, simple chapter actually. So we stop here.